I'm Betsy Bosser, and I'm here with Sheery McCamley, and we're going to talk about her show, She's Crazy, Mental Health and Other Myths. So, what inspired you to write and perform this?
My friend Kathy Springfield, who was at the time head of performing arts at Xavier University, she was there for 23 years. And so she's an actor, director, writer, all that. And we had become friends by doing various theater projects together. And we found out through getting to know each other that we both had a lot of mental health issues in our families. And I don't know, we just started talking about we should write a show about this. We should get people to talk about it because there's so much stigma. Nobody talks about mental health issues. So we got a grant to write the show. It took us about a year. We decided we did not want a dry lecture kind of thing. We wanted to be a cabaret style because I do a lot of cabaret work, singing, playing piano, tell stories, all that. So, and Kathy has great stories. We found out that the two of us sharing information, I've been treated for depression like forever, and she has bipolar disorder. And we both have parents who had undiagnosed bipolar disorder, which affected our entire childhoods, growing up, all that sort of thing. So as we shared more information, we just decided this was kind of a natural way, since we're both theater people, that we would write a show. And we did a lot of research. We attended seminars and went to classes and did stuff with NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, and decided that because I'm a singer-songwriter too, I would write songs and she would tell stories. And so that's what we started out doing. After we got the grant, like I said, it took about a year to write the whole thing. And then we added my daughter into the mix, Erin, because she unfortunately has her own stories and songs about mental health and addiction. And so we wanted to get a younger person in there because we're like the two old moms when we do the show at the, because we do a lot of college performances. And so we thought it would be good to have a young person, and she does her own music and stuff. So we kind of rewrote the show, the three of us. Good. And it's like 75 minutes. And we just, brainstormed a lot of ideas in the first part. And then as the songs started coming, we wrote things around the songs and around Kathy's stories. We have, and the thing is, when we first started writing this, Kathy was like, well, are we going to write characters? And we went back and forth. Should we make this about characters? And then we decided, okay, our whole mission with this show is to reduce the stigma surrounding mental illness, get people talking about it, because nothing's going to change until we treat mental health issues the same way we treat physical issues. So we decided we had to tell our own stories, which was not the easiest thing to do.
I bet not.
She has some difficult stories about a suicide attempt and about her mother. And I talk about my father, who died by suicide at the age of 62. And we had to share a lot, but that's what we do in the show. And we tell our own stories. I sing a bunch of songs. My daughter sings a bunch of songs. And we use a lot of humor, because we also didn't want it to be a total drag. I mean, a lot of mental health issues, they aren't funny necessarily, but there are some humorous things you can bring out. And plus, people get really engaged and they're listening when they're comfortable. When they laugh, they are very comfortable. So we have found that to be a good entree into getting people to be willing to accept the message. And that's worked really well for us, because our goal, like I said, with the show is to get other people comfortable telling their own stories and get rid of the stigma.
Right.
I mean, and get people talking differently about these issues, because even the words we use, like that's one of the reasons we chose the name She's Crazy, Mental Health and Other Myths. We did that on purpose, because we say she's crazy, he's psycho. We don't say she's heart disease, he's cancer. With physical ailments, you have it. With a mental illness, people define you by it. That's what's been happening, and we want to change that. So So we feel very strongly that we have to talk about the topics. We have to be willing to share ourselves if we want others to do the same thing.
Do you feel that the theater is a more open space to explore mental health topics?
Theater is the perfect place to explore topics like that. I mean, after all, theater, I mean, what is it? It's all about discussing the issues that make us human. It's all about exploring our feelings, expressing our cultural values, history, whatever it is. So theater is really the perfect medium in which to do this. And it's interesting because since we started doing this show in 2015 was our first performances, there have been other shows, more shows are coming out about mental health issues. I'm happy to say no one does quite what we do. At least I hope not. So we keep getting booked, but it's become a more visible issue, which is great. It's getting people to talk about it more, but unfortunately, we still need a lot of work, and that we're always, going back and revamping. When we first started doing the show, suicide was the second leading cause of death in the age group of 15 to 24-year-olds. Now that's bad enough. But now it's suicide is the second leading cause of death in age 10 to 24-year-olds. 10, wow. Which is horrible. And it's because people don't talk about it, and people don't want to accept that their child has mental health issues or whatever. We need to get it out in the open.
Not to completely switch tracks, but I'm talking about Mariemont.
Mariemont Players, yes.
What shows have you been involved with at Mariemont?
One of the first shows I did when I moved here was Ruthless, the musical. The legendary Roger Grooms directed it. Oh, it was just a great experience. I met a lot of really fun people, and people that I continued to do shows with there. So Ruthless was the first show I did there. I then did Something's Afoot, a British musical farce, and that was a lot of fun. I played Lady Manly Prow. I did Pump Boys and Dinettes, and I played Prudy Cup in the Mariemont production, which is interesting because I played Retta Cup when I lived out in California. So it was really fun to play the other sister. Forrest Fairley, who is also part of this whole project, he was in it with me. So I got to know him pretty well. And I music directed Cole, the musical review at Mariemont. Just like theater all over the place, it's a small world.
It really is.
And people I worked with at Mariemont, I've worked with all over the city and Kentucky. And it's a great place there's so much theater for the size of the city. It's a great place to be an actor and a performer and a music director and whatever. There's a lot of outlets.
Can you walk us through what we're about to watch from the show, the song Damage Done?
In the show, I talk about my father and the fact that he died by suicide, and he had alcoholism and all these issues, and about other family members. And I don't really talk much about my mom, but this song is about my mother. And like I say in the show, she was never diagnosed with anything, but she came from a family just like all of us, in which people did not talk about their problems.
Right.
And we are all damaged people in one way or another. We all have suffered trauma or whatever from your growing up, or, just stuff happening during your life. And so this song is about that.
And here is Damage Done. Thank you.
Thanks. My mother was never diagnosed with anything other than codependency, which was my diagnosis for her. But she too came from a family in which no one talked about their problems. Yeah, that's my mom and dad right there. I'm staring at a picture of you. You're sitting on the beach with your friends.
looking so happy and complete, glowing in the sun. What was going through your mind, sitting with your friends, arms all intertwined, like you could take on the world, not just some little girl alone. Somehow it changed, you and their vision collide, making you run and hide. I don't blame you for not being there for me. You did the best with what you had to give. But as a child, your best wasn't good enough, not good enough for me. You taught me not to trust, don't ever get too close to anyone. They'll only disappoint you in the end. Damage done, damage done, damage done, damage done. Don't show the world your true face. It's dangerous to let them really see. It's better to be pretty and composed, in control. So what's the legacy? Am I doomed to pass this on to my family, making them feel bitter and alone like me? Damage done, damage done, damage done, damage done, damage